And next this evening, the Home Secretary has led the tributes paid to a former police chief who was found dead at his home just a fortnight after he retired. Simon Cole was in charge of the Leicestershire Force for the last 12 years. He was 55 years old. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Simon Cole dedicated his life to policing, the longest-serving chief constable in the county where he spent his early childhood. A boss, a colleague, a friend. Today, the force he left only days ago was reeling from news of his death.
This is a force in mourning. I described it this morning as a tsunami of emotion has gone across the force. Some people who knew Simon really well, they're clearly suffering. Huge loss, and to me personally, a tragic loss. And his legacy will go on for years and years and years.
Rick Basra owes his life to that legacy. Simon Cole pushed an appeal for his life-saving bone marrow transplant.
Shocked and devastated doesn't even come close to it. Absolutely, it's terrible, terrible news. Words can't express how we feel. Absolutely horrible.
He said at the time, you know, I'm here for you day and night, and he was true to his word. I mean, once he realised that Rick needed a donor, he set up the Rick Basra Leukemia campaign. The rest is history, but for the thousands that we signed up, for every one of those organisations that we worked with, Simon opened the door. He made introductions to CEOs, he made introductions to head teachers, he was there at all of the events.
Simon Cole led a force that faced huge challenges, from violent street protests to violent extremism and new threats online. That meant changing the culture.
There's a risk that we deliver a service that Dixon of Dock Green would recognise when the world has moved on to Minority Report type policing. And so we need to be able to deliver both.
On Twitter, political tributes. The Home Secretary, Priti Patel, said Simon Cole was passionate about delivering for the people of Leicestershire. His Police and Crime Commissioner, Rupert Matthews, said he was shocked and extremely saddened. And his MP, Harborough's Neil O'Brien, said Mr Cole was a dedicated and committed public servant.
Simon really was a remarkable man. He was, at the same time, a tough cop. He was very, very professional. He knew his business, very inspirational to his force. But he was also, astonishingly, a really nice guy.
Simon Cole led changes nationally, from the policing of mental health issues to preventing terrorism, and he was passionate about building bridges between the different communities he served.
Every time there was a terror attack like the last large ones that we had in New Zealand, you know, he'd pick up the phone and reassure and make sure that there were extra patrols, like around places of worship, etc. And he would continuously be on the phone to ask, was there anything else more he could do?
And today they remembered the former Chief Constable at Leicestershire County Council, flying their flag at half-mast too. Leicestershire Police say Simon Cole was loved and respected, and his loss, they say, is devastating.
So many heartfelt tributes to Simon Cole, and Jeremy Ball's at Leicestershire Police Headquarters for us tonight. Jeremy, good evening to you. I mean, do we actually know how he died?
Well, the police say Mr Cole was found at his home a few miles away from here at Kibworth Harcourt yesterday morning. Now, his death has now been referred to the coroner. Obviously a horrendous time for his family, so the police aren't releasing more details. So we heard he was only in his mid-50s. He'd only finished working here a fortnight ago. And today, people here, and people right across Leicestershire and Rutland really, just trying to come to terms with the shock of what's happened.
Rob Nixon talked about Simon Cole's legacy. What difference did he make?
Well, he did make a difference, and not just in policing. He was really passionate about his community too. We heard today, for instance, about how he spent years volunteering as a sports coach, coaching children's rugby teams in Oadby and Wigston. He was vice president of the Scouts and the Guides in Leicestershire. He was involved with both of the universities in Leicester as well. Today, people here, talking about those personal touches, how he'll always remember your name. We've just noticed another bunch of flowers, some roses, outside police headquarters here, and I think listening to people today, you just get a sense of how much Simon Cole's going to be missed.
Oh, Jeremy, thank you very much indeed for